To the celebrity share market now, and stirring journalist strikes again with Terror phone log. Even former terror suspects call key next year's Prime Minister. Smart Money says new hope for convicted killer of Hope and Smart. TV psychic tells the Day he uses dead grandfather to help him catch trout. And the look-down dory makes it to the endangered fish list. Got a little bit of extra time up our sleeves tonight, so we thought we might just open up the lines. 0800 80 60 40 toll-free is the number to call with any comment or question that you might have. Have we got anyone there yet? Here we John on line 1. John from Gulf Harbour. Go ahead, yours please.
Yeah, good evening, Jeremy. Look, I was wondering why so many TV shows presumably start off as good ideas end up as complete crap.
That's actually a very good question, John. Now, one theory is that once the politically correct funding bodies, the nitpicking networks and the penny-pinching producers have had their way, the original concept has usually lost most of its flavour, leaving the viewer with a blanded-out shit biscuit that you wouldn't let your dog digest. All that was meant to change when music TV arrived in the 1990s. At last, people would have the freedom to create magic without the interference from the pie-fingering network. But making TV with no money or structure didn't actually turn out to be that easy, and much of what followed was even more boring than the shit on the main networks. Among the exceptions to this rule was a Wednesday night show that screened for only 7 months on Auckland's Max TV. It remains one of a precious few shows that could be described as televisual toanga. That show was Box Dog. Fronted by Robbo.
Remember, don't try this at home, okay?
And starring his mates. Luke.
True, I'm the fourth square man, yeah?
Steve. Russell.
Oh, jeez!
And Happy.
Come on, Happy! Oh, Christ! Oh! I'm getting a message!
It was a weekly low-fidelity hootenanny. And possibly the best bloody thing on TV ever. Even if you weren't pissed on Reineck or smoking Dak.
I hated the whole idea of, to be on TV, the production values have to be super high, and that was how we had this trade-off of New Zealand television of not very good ideas but great production standards, just like the overseas markets. So the ethos, I wanted to create a show where the ethos was cardboard and sellotape.
I am Santor. Crispy can see us, you know, through the TV.
Yeah.
Even if it's turned off.
When you were doing the show, because it was all very small, you do it in front of your camera, and just down the hallway was the lounge where everyone would sit and watch it. And so you were really doing the show for the people out in the other room, because you'd feed off you'd hear them laughing, so you'd be feeding off that. So it was really creating that, like, a bit of a party atmosphere. You know?
What's that you got, Happy? Oh, give it us.
Crispy was even funnier if you know Russell, because Russell's the most quiet, unassuming, mild guy you'd ever meet. Like, artistic genius, but would do this character and would be 180 degrees. You know, like the funniest night was the night he'd been sent in a drawing by a little kid and he held it up and it was like it had written, "Help me," in his own blood.
Good on you, Shane.
They say that you're not really like Crispy at all.
Crispy's not like me, I'd say.
Gimp, oh, you're making it hard for me, aren't you?
How did you come up with Crispy?
That's a little bit of a sad story, actually. Well, it's not sad, but what is sad? But there was this guy at the Wellington railway station, and there was this kind of crippled guy with crutches, and he was trying to catch the train, and the train pulled out, and then he had this like real big fit, and started like screaming like, "You buggers! You buggers! You bloody buggers!" like this, and it was just like there was something really sort of compelling about it, and that's kind of where that character came from, you know.
Oh, jeez!
Luke Nola had a range of characters, including computer-generated Elvis, The gross four-square man,
We can't get rid of him. These bleeding potatoes. Look, they're bleeding all over the place. Look at that.
and of course the seminal Mr. Pullerface.
Yeah, I'll start with the basics. So, like, it'll really pull my eyebrows out a lot, and it makes, like, a scary picture. And I had a quite elastic face. It's not so elastic now, but you could do stuff to it, and you know, the old rubber bands on your face and do things.
Hooray for Mr. Pullerface, you make expressions with such grace. The way you pull your flexy features to resemble some strange creatures.
But possibly the most inspired and disturbing of all was Sir John Toilet Factor.
Good evening, I'm Sir John Toilet Factor, and here is the news to hand.
Where did the name come from?
My cousin actually thought up that name. He was bloody genius at thinking out names like that. And it suited the character nicely, because there was a factor of the toilet about him.
I've a riddle. Should one fiddle with the piddle coming out in a dribble from one's middle?
Steve also appeared as the pervy Seymour Babes.
Even touch today, don't I? Yeah, but that's it, right? It is to tell you.
And Afro Man, Mr. Toots.
Speaking of the fuzz, you know, I gotta keep one eye on them the whole time. They're constantly on my back. And look, they got my ass in a sling.
Do you think that type of TV would work now?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think some of the characters, like, say, Mr. Toots wouldn't work now because everyone's done that a million times ever since, you know? Even O.J. Simpson.
You know what else the fuzz had done?
What?
Some people say they even put a price on my head.
Were you wasted when you did it?
Not at all. Sadly.
Jeez, you're saying what drugs you're on, bro.
There was never any drugs involved, you know. There was a little bit of booze.
You gotta come down hard.
Were you wasted the whole time?
No, I used to get wasted afterwards, because often my mum was there, so I didn't want to get too drunk in front of her.
The strange episode of the boxing dog has come to the end.
God, that gives me feelings.
So did you have to get really wasted before you did it?
I did, yeah.
Howdy, boys and girls.
You ain't nothing but Sir John.
It's your favourite old clown again, Crispy.
Good evening.
But all cult shows must come to an end. Today, Russell is a sought-after ad creative. Steve, a successful commercials director. Luke makes the TV2 show Let's Get Inventin'. And Robbo is married with kids making ads in Abu Dhabi.
You're making it hard for me, Tony.
So till next time. See yous.
I got so much sex from being on Max TV. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's just so easy to pull when you're on television.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Right, you simply unscrew the cap at the end like this.
Right.
And then you fill it up with a liquid of a nice warm temperature. Like so.
See?
And then you have no more worries about a cold dildo giving you a bit of a chill.
So is this mainly a winter season product?
No, not at all. You can use it all year round. I use mine all year round. I simply fill up the dildo with a liquid of a different temperature to suit the season.
UFOs, Star Kids, Close Encounter,
Rectal implant.
Shirley MacLaine.
Coming up next week, a probing report into Rotorua's UFO convention. From all of us here at Eating Media Lunch, good night. At 53, it's Crispy the Clown.
I've got another magic trick for you, but you gotta promise to shut your eyes and just listen. Do you promise? Well, here goes. 1. No peeking. 2. Keep them shut. 3. Okay, open your eyes. I'm behind ya! Just checking. I gave you a fight, didn't I? Can you guys do that? Can ya? Hey? Oh, jeez!